Feel the beat, it's in your soul. Dance and me should make you whole. Stories rise, the healing's near. Share your light, there's no fear. Healing huddles, we all unite. There's a niche, shine you bright. Tell your story, let it flow. Together stronger, we will grow.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Healing Huddles. I am Des Gerald, your host.
And I am Misha Dalton, co-host.
And we are so excited to be discussing the topic that we are discussing this evening, because there's so much that I did not know up until like maybe about a year ago about this topic. And even more recently, I've learned some newer things as well. But we are going to be talking about the dark past of Big Pharma. But before I get into that, for those of you who don't know about Healing Home Movement, we are just about helping to raise the vibration on this planet. And in order to raise the vibration, we have to heal home. And to us, home is our bodies, mind, body, and spirit. It's our relationships with our friends and family, and it's also our earth. But before we could heal our earth and before we could heal our relationships, it starts with us first. And so tonight, this topic is really good because we have to really think about our bodies, like how we're going to take care of our bodies, especially when we come across any type of illnesses, injuries. So it's just really important to have the history behind the medical industry, Big Pharma, just so that you can make informed decisions and you can ask the right questions. And so before we get into it too deep, there is a video that I'm going to play real quick. It's about John D. Rockefeller, who started all of this medication. I'm not going to say nonsense and foolishness because some of it does help, right? Some of it, like, you have to take it when you need to, but let's go ahead and dig into this.
Vaccines, antibiotics, and synthetic drugs, which would become the cornerstones of the burgeoning pharmaceutical industry. Rockefeller spent $100 million of his own money, equal to $2.6 billion today, to hire, train, and then deploy his doctors, clinical researchers, and chemists who would perform and follow his guidelines, banning traditional treatments in favor of the new platform. In 1902, he spent another $1 million to fund the creation of the General Education Board, which was passed by Congress based upon selective and misleading data. Effectively, he lied, which then proceeded to prevent medical colleges and universities from receiving federal grants if they did not abandon the teaching of natural healing. Rockefeller was a devotee of social Darwinism. He was an open racist. He agreed with the views of Margaret Sanger. See our video on her. In 1909, Rockefeller selected Andrew Carnegie, the Irish-born steel magnate and founder of U.S. Steel, to perform a national tour of hospitals and clinics to evaluate the current methods of treating illness and disease. So Carnegie chose a former school teacher, Abraham Flexner, who was neither a physician nor scientist, definitely not a doctor, but actually a wealthy owner and operator of a for-profit college in Kentucky.
Okay. To put petroleum in someone's body, to me, it's just, I don't know if diabolical is the word.
It's awful. It should be a crime. It's criminal.
But, you know, and I was watching something that was saying that they put it in chemo.
Oh, wow.
Which I didn't know about that. So I mean, I'm definitely going to do some more research into
Mhm.
that, but I believe it's still being used to this day in some of our medication.
Oh,
I'm gonna look into it. I'm definitely gonna do research on that one.
well,
Yeah. But what are your thoughts? Like, I know you have really you have read up a lot on this in the past, so you probably know a lot more about it than I do. But just share some of the things that you learned.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
of course, John D. Rockefeller, everybody knows him as well. His name is put on a lot of things as to glorify him, but there's a very dark past with him. He was very rich. His wealth was probably equal to Elon Musk back in his days, early 1900s. But he was an oil giant. He was an oil giant and started an oil company and became a billionaire many times over with Standard Oil, which today we know that as being your BP, your Shell, your Exxon, and some of the gas stations. But he made so much money, and then he looked into the natural healers, which they used to call them medicine women and medicine men back in those days. And he saw that they were using plants to actually heal people, using natural vitamins and minerals to heal people. And so he decided to infuse petroleum into some of those things to create a synthetic version of like vitamin C, for example, or some of the medications to create synthetic versions of it. And eventually he slandered a lot of those healers. We know of a Dr. Sabi, who was one of in our days,
Yeah.
our time, Dr. Sabi. He was one that, we all know, the country just turned against him, even though he healed and cured a lot of people of things like HIV and lupus and many other things. And so, of course,
And he won his case now. He did. He had his records. He won
yeah,
his case.
yeah, he won his case. But then Dr. John D. Rockefeller, he slandered the medicine women and men so much that they would literally ban them from talking about it. And they'd establish medical schools, what we know as medical schools now, and set up all these medical schools everywhere. So the idea was to treat people with these drugs and these pharmaceuticals, not natural healing from plants as our ancestors did. And there was a conflict of interest, obviously, because he created the petroleum. So he was banking big time off of this. So really, the first medicine was plants. Our ancestors used plants to heal the body from every illness, every disease that's known. Our ancestors were able to use those plants to heal those different ailments or different illnesses. And so we want to make sure that we get back to that natural source of healing.
Yeah, I mean, I did share last week, I believe, just a little bit of my healing journey and how, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, let me, I was raised on the Bible. So I said, let me go back to the Bible because I know there were parts in the Bible that tells you how to eat clean, what's unclean. And I said, let me see what the Bible says. So I just did, Google, how does the Bible say we should eat, right? And it brought up Genesis, and I went to Genesis, and it says that fruit is for our meat and herbs are for the healing of the nations.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
that's what really started me on my healing journey. And then along with just speaking to my holistic coach who actually put me on a raw fruit and vegetable fast, um, to just help get my body to start really detoxing and moving things, making sure I'm moving my lymph nodes and my lymphatic system and everything. So yeah, I mean, even the Bible it says, like, to me, the Bible is our ancestors' writings, right? And so yeah, I think it's very important that we go back to nature and we use what um, the earth provides. We
Yeah.
come from the earth.
Yeah. They come from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, in every culture, actually, if you go back to like ancient Hindu, ancient, in any parts of Asia, all parts of Asia, Africa, many of these indigenous um, people, indigenous countries or indigenous areas of many of those countries, that's what they did. They had such a reverence and respect for nature, but we have such a disrespect for nature now, and we wonder why we're getting so sick in our body, because we don't honor and value nature as we did back in those days. Even with some of the, with the our ancestors, just with the medicine. I mean, if you bring it fast forwarded to like the 1800s back in England, they would literally create witch hunts. They labeled women who practice herbal medicine, they labeled them as witches. And so they
Wow.
would literally go on witch hunts. Actually, King James led that. King James, your King James on your Bible.
Wow.
Said that. And he actually, his first book was not the Bible. That was not his first work. His first book that he actually wrote himself was called Demonology. He wrote 3 versions of it: Demonology 1, 2, and 3. But he thought his mother
What was it about? What was demonology about?
It was about witches, demons, witches. Because he thought that his mom was a witch. But back in those days, they would label women. A lot of the women back then, I mean, our ancestors, our ancient mothers, they use herbs. And then you got to think about too, back then, you think about the Haitian Revolution when they were fighting against slavery. They used herbs as herbs to make their oppressors sick and kill them. So of course they're gonna demonize herbs. So he would have them to have these witch hunts, and they would round up these women and to burn them at the stake or stone them to death. And so fast forward, that transferred over into the United States from England, because he was the King of England and King of Scotland. And so fast forward, United States, I know a lot of people have heard of the Salem witch trials. Well, they rounded up some girls in Salem, Massachusetts, and put them on trial and accused them of being witches. But the point is, what was once sacred has been demonized to mean something bad, but it's not. It is used for medicine. It is used for healing the body. And they took that, what was natural that our Creator gave us, and then spun that into something synthetic that's actually hurting us. And so while I know that there's a place for medicine if you need it, surgeries, things of that nature, blood tests, just be mindful of what you're putting in your body, and don't be reactive, be proactive, and start doing what needs to be done now to regulate your body, regulate your blood pressure, your blood sugar, making sure that you're doing everything to keep your cholesterol levels at and within a normal range, so you don't have to be on some of these synthetic drugs. Use your food, use your herbal medicine to help regulate those things. And just so you know, just for an example, aspirin, when we take aspirin, and they created aspirin, they took that from a plant, the white willow bark plant. There's the active ingredient, what they call constituents, called salicin. That's the active ingredient in aspirin. They took it straight from a plant, extracted it from a plant, isolating the constituents, and made it into a drug, and fusing all kind of artificial chemicals, artificial colors, artificial like additives to make these drugs. And another thing,
you know what?
Yeah.
I have a couple of clips about the aspirin company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what? Let's bring that on to the stage here. Let's
put them on blast.
Yeah. Let's put them on blast.
Y'all, grappling with the mysterious and deadly rise of HIV and AIDS, a shocking corporate scandal unfolded, one that disproportionately affected Black, brown, and marginalized communities across the globe. The culprit? Bayer. Yeah, that Bayer, the pharmaceutical giant. At the time, Bayer produced a clotting agent called Factor VIII, a life-saving treatment for people with hemophilia. But here's the chilling part. This medication was contaminated with HIV, and instead of pulling the product from the shelves and protecting patients, Bayer knowingly sold the tainted blood products overseas after they were banned in the US. Let that sink in. Countries in Latin America, Asia, and Africa receive these shipments. And guess who often live in the margins of these healthcare systems? Poor people, black people, brown people, people who had no idea they were being used as literal test subjects as human profit margins. This was chemical warfare disguised as medicine, and the victims, thousands of innocent people, many of them children, were infected with HIV and hepatitis C, all because of corporate greed. Documents later revealed that Bayer and its Cutter Biological Division were fully aware of the risks, yet they continued to profit off a product they knew could kill. And what happened to them? Fines, settlements, no prison time, no justice for lives lost. Y'all, this is why we talk about medical mistrust in Black communities. This is why we must be educated, empowered, and unapologetically woke, wealth, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered. Never forget, the system wasn't built to protect us, but knowledge, that's our armor. That's why financial literacy, health advocacy, and legal empowerment must go hand in hand. They won't teach you this in school. That's why we have to teach each other. Because when you know better, you can protect your community better.
Healthy Jewish women to this pharmaceutical company to test its products. Literally, within 6 months, there's letters back to the Third Reich from this pharmaceutical company saying, "Thank you so much for your cooperation. The women arrived in great health and working order. Unfortunately, none of them made it through the initial phases of our trial. They killed 150 women. We kindly request that you send us another 150 women." That little company became Bayer, which is now a mega pharmaceutical company. The Nazi regime shipped 150 healthy.
That's crazy.
It is. That's awful. That.
They said, look, the healthy 150 women that you sent did not make it past 6 months from their experiment. Kindly send us another 150. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Tuskegee experiment where they were doing that trial with the men in the Black community, and all of them died, like, of syphilis. It's
And that other video that we played, like, they just sent the medication over anyway to, like, Africa, Latin America. Like, I mean,
and we wonder how HIV and different things spread. Even the COVID right now, COVID going around. There's so many. There are, of course, conspiracies.
well, we'll say the C word. We won't say.
Oh God, yes. Let's scratch that. They might take the video down. But there, that C word. I'm not too sure about
Yeah.
that's a debate. That's up for debate. But yeah, I mean, just the more you know, and the more you educate yourself on some of this, the more you would be less likely to take some of the drugs unless you need it. But there are other ways that you can, help to heal yourself with eating right,
Right.
eating your herbs, eating your, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Another fun fact, and I actually just found this out today, that acetaminophen, which is the active compound in Tylenol, is actually made from coal tar. Coal tar.
Wow.
Coal tar, coal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and yeah, so, and this, about 40% of the pharmaceuticals have been derived from plants, but then they put their own chemicals and additives in it and create a drug. When, if they can do that, then why not just stick with the plant? So that's what
Right.
we encourage: to stick to the plant where it's in its whole state, that it's active ingredients and not being isolated from it, turned into a drug that can nearly kill you.
Yeah, because that's basically what they're doing, is they're taking, isolating the, ingredient in the plant
Mhm.
and adding synthetics to it.
Yeah, and
When
making
we
money.
could just take the whole plant. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I really decided to start off my journey on a holistic, from a holistic standpoint, because I was just like, let me cut out the middleman. I
Mm-hmm.
tried to learn as much as I could learn so that I can stay more on the natural side,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't have enough. I didn't the alternative treatments that I was getting was just so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time I came back, I just made that decision to do chemo. But if I would have known more at the time, I don't know if I would have done the chemo. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still learning,
Yeah.
still healing.
But the good news is when you, like they say, if you knew better, you do better. Well, once you learned a better way, you didn't question it. You you pursued it and you went 100%. And that's why I believe you are in your state of health now, because you chose to put natural, whole food, plant-based
Yeah, because
body.
by the time I did chemo, I was 4 months into just like detoxing, eating clean, and the chemo I had very little side effects. Like they were shocked at the
Mhm.
hospital.
Yeah.
Every time I went in, I even went to meet with the radiologist, and he was just like writing down, taking notes, taking notes. I met with the integrative medicine department. They were just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" and blah blah blah. And so they recognized
Mhm.
that what I was doing was helping. The oncologist wasn't, but it's okay. It's
Yeah.
all right. It's okay. I went
Yeah.
back and forth with the oncologist quite a bit, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of been my journey too. When they diagnosed me, or said that they thought I had an autoimmune disease, saying lupus. I don't accept it. I don't claim it. It's just what they
Right.
said.
It's a
That's what they
diagnosis.
said.
It's a
Um,
diagnosis.
yeah, that's what they said. But when I saw like all the different drugs that they were laying out to me, and then the side effects, I decided to go the natural, holistic way as well. I've had my last appointment of many with the rheumatologist,
Mhm.
and I asked her, I'm like, what do I need to do? And she told me I needed to lose some weight. I need to start getting more sleep, because I was living off of 3-4 hours of sleep a day.
Oh,
I was
wow.
stressed out to level
You
1,000.
weren't even giving your body a chance to
No,
repair itself.
my body
Wow.
literally turned on itself because of the amount of stress I was under, not getting
Wow.
enough sleep, overweight, inactive, working full time, going to school full time, going through a divorce, had a
Wow.
teenage daughter going through her changes, and had a new child, a new baby. Well, not a baby, but he was like about 1 or 2.
Oh, wow.
So all of that, my body just is like enough, and it shut down. But when she told me that, I said, okay. And she wrote me a prescription. It said, take this, a prescription. She said, this will help with, you start feeling better. I said, okay. I had no intentions of taking the medicine. So that day I joined the gym. I, did everything that I needed to do. And in doing so, I ended up losing 60 pounds. I
Wow.
regained all of my energy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And I felt like I literally aged backwards. Like
Yeah.
felt like I aged backwards.
Yeah.
Where I
I
was,
lost about 40 pounds on
yeah,
the detox that Dr. Yaki put me on.
yeah.
I
Like
lost about 27 pounds, like that first when I said I went on that 40-day raw fruit, raw vegetable
mhm.
um protocol. I lost 27 pounds in like 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So,
It takes years. I mean, it takes so whenever I used to own a health and wellness studio, and I would do assessments, wellness assessments. And part of the wellness assessment is to measure your metabolic age. So I have a scale that will let you know what your metabolic age is, not what your age is. So I'm 48, but my metabolic age is based on how my body is performing, right? So my body, even when I was like 30, my body
mhm.
was performing like a 50-year-old, or,
Oh,
or
wow.
older. And then whenever I started my journey 13 years ago, I changed my diet. I went completely plant based. I did everything that I needed to do to heal myself, losing the weight. My metabolic age after that was 19. Now, at that time, I was like in my upper 30s at that time,
Mm.
but my metabolic age was 19.
Wow.
That's why I
That's
say
a good point. That's a good point. You said it was a machine that you got on?
yeah, I had a, when I would do wellness assessments with my clients, I would do that to measure their weight. I would do full body measurements, but then I
Okay.
also measure their weight, their body fat percentage, muscle mass, water weight, bone density, and their
Because
metabolic age and their visceral fat.
they
And
say that cancer is a metabolic issue.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
and I mean, and when you work on those things, that's why I used to joke and say, "Hey, I've aged backwards," because I
yeah.
literally did. Like
Yeah.
metabolically, I wasn't like almost 40. Metabolically, I was 19.
Yeah.
So I aged backwards. But you do have to. Again, I don't want to say don't take drugs, don't take your prescriptions if you need it, because if you need it, if you're in a state of chronic illness and you're having to be more reactive, well, you may have to take something just to calm things down. But in the process, start adopting a healthier lifestyle. Use your food as your medicine as your food. Use your plants to help bring your body into balance. Start
Join,
detox.
join our group, our Facebook group. We got
Join
a
our
private
Facebook group.
private Facebook group,
Join
Healing
our
Home Movement. It's
and
a private,
YouTube,
yeah.
Facebook and YouTube. Join the
Yeah,
group.
join our group because we're going to be doing quarterly detoxes in the group. We're going to be having like a monthly book club. We'll
Mhm.
share some books with you guys that we read ourselves, that we use to help us on our healing journey. We're going to have some healing events and retreats.
Yes.
And it's just a safe space to share your story and what you're going through. I made the group private for that reason.
Mhm.
So feel free, you're on Facebook, just type in Healing Home Movement. We'll let you in, or just say, hey, I went in, and put your Facebook page name in comments, and we'll add you to the group.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, so I'm going to talk to Dr. Shelton about that,
Mhm.
just to see if there's any type of test that she can do to see, to just test my metabolic. I don't
Yeah.
know what you call it. My
Yeah.
metabolic state.
Your metabolic age or your body how it's performing metabolically. But I tell
Yeah.
you one thing that if she has not done that you should definitely ask for, because she did a test on me to measure or to test my nervous system, if I had a dysregulated nervous system.
Yeah, they did that. She did that.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, I
and
go back to see her. I do a follow-up this week, actually.
so do I on the 7th.
Yeah. I go on the 10th.
Okay. Yeah. So and that's another thing. A lot of doctors that are allopathic in nature, Western, a
They're
lot of
not
them,
gonna do that.
yeah, a lot of them are now starting to transition over. And the doctor that Des and I are referring to, she was an internal medicine doctor for decades. And
Yeah.
when she saw how the industry was going, where when you go to the doctor, it was more about put him on a drug, and
Right.
move you along like an assembly line. She's like, I didn't go to medical school for this. I went to
Right.
medical school to help people heal their body. So now she's an integrative health doctor where she focuses on the root cause and treating the whole person, not just giving you drugs. So even though I'm a holistic health coach, the coach still needs a coach. So
Right.
Dr. Shelton is my medical doctor who have the credentials. And just, she's amazing. And a lot of doctors are starting to do that. A year ago, I got COVID and it started triggering the autoimmune stuff all over again. So it got me really bad. So I started getting ozone infusions instead of taking a lot of the drugs and the medicine. I did ozone infusion therapy for 6 weeks. I took something called, well, I probably can't say it on here because I don't want us to get flagged, but I did ozone.
Join the group. We'll be talking about it in the group.
Yeah, so I did that. You can do vitamin infusions, vitamin C infusions, and different things to help boost your immune system, to help cut back on inflammation. So there's so many natural things that you could do. Turmeric,
Right.
Just so
Yeah.
many things.
And so, guys, the type of doctor you want to look for to kind of like go hand in hand, you want to first see if there's like an integrative department, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're dealing with cancer, you're at a cancer center, there should be some type of integrative department. But I would even say to go above and beyond that and see if you can connect with the functional medicine
Mm-hmm.
doctor.
Yes.
Because when I was going through my treatments, I was connected to the integrative department. But even the doctor in that department, he was like, look, I know this is the integrative department, but we're still limited on what we can suggest.
Mm-hmm.
So see a
Yeah.
it's called a functional medicine doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Add now, unfortunately, of course, medical insurance doesn't cover that, right? It's very unfortunate, and hopefully by people like us, me and Misha, speaking out and just sharing, our journey and the things that we've come up against, and more people talk about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully, eventually, it will, or maybe the holistic industry could come up with their own health insurance.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
that would be
great.
great
Great.
if
Yeah.
anybody's out there listening.
Yeah. Please look into it, somebody.
I'll be your first. I'll be
Yeah.
your first customer.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, that would, but yeah, you're right. A functional medicine doctor. You can even look into, they have naturopathic doctors as well. And something does that you were talking about a while back that really helped you is seeing a chiropractor. And that's
Oh
something that I
yeah, I'm still seeing the chiropractors. Yeah, yeah, because you know what? After the surgery, um, I would say about 4 to 6 weeks afterwards, I started to feel like my bones were just achy. Like even
Mhm.
just laying, like I couldn't get comfortable in bed, going to sleep, it would just ache. And I was just like, what is going on? And I was starting to get nervous really because I had to sign off on paperwork saying that the cancer could come back in my bones or it could mess up my heart. And so I was starting to get nervous, like, oh my gosh. So that's one of the reasons why I went to go see Dr. Yaki, so I could just get a full body detox or just whatever he recommend. And then my back was hurting too. My back was actually feeling like it was on fire. Like it was burning pretty
Mhm.
much and just like very achy. So after I came back from seeing Dr. Yaki last June and getting on the detox, I actually combined it with chiropractic care. I feel great. I don't have the aches in my joints, no aches in my bones or anything anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
What did they say when you went to the chiropractor? What did they attribute that to as far as you not having those aches? Is it like an misalignment of like your spine, or what did they say caused
So
that?
actually, they told me I have scoliosis, and I'm going to start uploading videos of my breast cancer journey. And part of that, I'm going to upload videos of me going to the chiropractors, and so that people could see what my back looked like. It looked like a S, like
Wow,
it, yeah.
wow.
And then my neck wasn't aligned properly either. And one of the
Mhm.
things that he taught me is that when your spine is not aligned correctly, it throws off different organs, and because you have different meridian points that are in the middle of your vertebrae. And so if your vertebrae, if it's not aligned properly, it'll throw off your health. It will help create chronic illnesses. And
Wow.
so yeah,
Wow, that's
um,
interesting.
yeah, I noticed so far my neck has improved dramatically,
Mhm.
and where we are right now is that he's just kind of working on my just going down, working
Yeah.
on my middle to lower back at this point to try to get it. He said it's not going to be perfect because I mean, it looks like an S. I'm not gonna lie. It
Yeah.
looks.
But you feel better though, right?
I feel a lot better.
Yeah,
I
so
feel a lot
that's
better.
good. That's good. Wow.
I feel a
Thanks
lot
for
better.
sharing that.
Yeah. But you know, one of the things that I learned that was really ironic too
Mhm.
is that like there's so many HBCUs. Like I thought the HBCUs were like, you know, well, they are historically Black colleges, but I thought they were named after African Americans, and a lot of them are not. Spelman was named after John D. Rockefeller's wife.
Mhm.
And I'm like, whoa. I
Yeah.
think Howard University, that's not named after an African American. Um, what was the other ones?
Clark,
I forget. Huh?
Atlanta, was it Clark,
Yeah,
Atlanta?
Clark Atlanta, Howard University, Russ College, Fisk University, Morehouse. Like
Morehouse.
I thought all of these colleges were Benedict College. I thought all of these colleges were like named after you know, African Americans, but they're not.
I
So
didn't know that. Wow.
that was very interesting to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to know that Rockefeller had this big agenda, you know,
Mhm.
and just changing the whole medical industry. As you saw in the video, he were bringing his advisors didn't even have anything to do with the medical industry. They were
Yeah.
like regular teachers and just, you know, so
Mhm. Yeah, Kissinger, he did there's a report called the Kissinger Report. It's a long not very long, but it's a lengthy report. And you guys should read it. It talks about that, the whole industry. But he did a report, and the government is in on it. So think about it. The more, unfortunately, there being sick is a $1 trillion business. You know, they make more money off of you being sick than you being well. So you have to be your own advocate and go hard as your own advocate to make sure that you do everything humanly possible to
you
get
do.
optimal healing, because they benefit off of you being sick. Like there's
Yeah.
so many investors who own shares of stock in these big pharmaceutical companies. They're making a killing off of killing you, you know? So
Right.
we have to really be our own advocate and fight for our life,
That's
because
what I did.
you're worth it. You're
Yes.
absolutely worth it.
Yes, you really are. And on that note, I think we've we've said a lot, given you a lot to think about. And we really do hope you think about it. And we hope you do your research, do your own research.
Yes.
We're just sharing information that, you know, helped us on our journey that we came across. And we will continue to do that. We will
Yes.
continue to do that. But we definitely, you know, implore you guys to do the research yourself as well and see what's going to work for you, the
Yes.
benefit of you. All right, guys, that is it. Misha, do you have any last words?
No, that is it. We took a little longer today, but as you all can see, we are truly passionate about this subject. So,
Yeah.
so
All right, guys. Well, peace, light, love, and healing. And we will see you guys next Sunday.
peace.
Bye.
Healing